Hi everyone, I'm Sonia and I'm in concert choir, and today I'm going to be giving you a couple of tips for your smart music just to improve your sight reading overall. So let's get started. So one of the first things you're going to want to do is open up the book in smart music. I highly recommend doing this over just going straight into the exercises. I think it's so much more beneficial and you actually learn a lot more by using the book. And one thing I want to stress is do not get behind in smart music. It's just way more complicated to have to make up maybe 10 smart musics in one week versus doing your 4 every week. So I highly stress that you should be doing your smart music every week. It's just going to make your life a lot easier. So, in terms of the tips, the first thing you want to do is warm up your voice. This is really helpful because if you just start singing right away, especially those high notes, it's a lot harder to reach them and you're not going to get the best airflow possible. So, I really recommend doing scales and thirds, which are just pretty basic warm ups to warm up your voice. And the next thing is you're going to want to find the you're going to want to find like your do. Um, and so to do that, you look at the key signature here, and you're gonna see the farthest sharp to the right, that's on a T, so you go one step up and it's gonna be a do. So it's not on the staff, however, um, we're gonna count down and this is gonna be the lower do. So we're starting on a do, and then you can use the do as a reference point and be able to name all the solfege. And another thing that you can use is normally the last note of smart music exercises is a do. So you can also use that, but take that with a grain of salt because sometimes it might change when you get into the harder exercises. And also Miss T was so kind as to write in solfege. So as you can see on the rehearsal plan, there's a link and you can see all the solfege for every single smart music exercise in the book. So that's also another helpful resource if you're really struggling finding this key signature. So after that, the next step in the process, after you've done all the solfege, you're going to want to look for important things in the music. So for example, there's a repeat here, so that's just something to note. And sometimes there's second endings and other things like that. So that's also really important to know. And then you're also going to want to make sure you know the rhythm. So sounding out the rhythm is really important because sometimes there's like 16th notes and things like that that can make it a little bit tricky. So one way I really recommend doing that is by pressing my part here and then listening to the exercise. This is really beneficial because you're hearing the rhythm and you're also getting a feel for the notes. So when you practice, you're just going to be a little bit more on key and you're going to kind of remember what all the notes sound like a little bit. And then after you listen to it once, you kind of get a feel for the exercise. I recommend practicing it once or twice with my part just to make sure you're really hitting the notes, you're not sharping anywhere. And then after that, I recommend practicing without my part because that's how it's gonna be on the exercise. So once you do that, maybe once or twice, you fix a couple mistakes you have in the pitch. You can also like tap notes. So this is really beneficial if you're having problems with like one note that happens that's just a little bit off of what you're singing. So that can be beneficial as well. And then when you go to do your exercise, I also highly recommend wearing headphones. It just picks up your pitch a lot better and easier versus if you just do it without headphones. And that's pretty much it. I hope this was helpful in improving your sight reading, and I hope you continue to do well on your smart music.